You killed him and you want to marry his brother.
Scarlett's world imploded the moment she opened the bathroom door and found Damian waiting inside the bridal suite. Leaning casually against the marble counter, holding a photo that could destroy her entire life. He lifted it slowly, smirking. "Walk down that aisle, Scarlett. And Nicholas will learn you were there the night his brother died. Like, subscribe, and comment where you're watching from." Scarlett's breath vanished, as if someone had ripped the air straight out of her lungs. Her wedding was in 3 minutes. Her future, already fragile, was hanging by a single fraying thread. And the man waiting at the end of that aisle was the last person alive who could ever know the truth. What are you doing here?" she whispered, shutting the door behind her as panic burned through her. Damian chuckled, like this was a game he had been waiting years to play. "Relax, sweetheart. You look beautiful, by the way. Very much the billionaire's perfect little bride." He leaned closer, his voice turning sharp. "But we both know you're anything but innocent." Scarlett's hands trembled as she stared at the picture. Nicholas's late brother at a gas station the night he died. And there she was, in the background, not beside him, not touching him, but close enough to raise questions that could destroy her. Her knees nearly buckled. "Damian, please. Not today, not here." "Oh, I picked today on purpose." His smile widened. "The timing is perfect. Imagine the scandal. Nicholas Smith marries a woman tied to his brother's death. I can already hear the headlines." Scarlett's stomach twisted violently. "I had nothing to do with his death." Damian's expression sharpened. "But Nicholas doesn't know that, and I don't mind helping him draw his own conclusions." He slid the photo back into his jacket. "Unless, of course, you give me what I want." Scarlett's heartbeat slammed against her ribs. She already knew what he wanted. It was the same thing he'd wanted ever since she left him. Control. "I'm not going back to you," she whispered firmly. Damian's face hardened instantly. The charming smile dissolved, replaced by the cold, violent man she knew too well. 6 years, Scarlett." He stepped closer. 6 years of loyalty, secrets, blood, and money. All because of me. And you think you can walk away? Start a new life? Marry a billionaire like you didn't build your entire survival on blackmailing men with me? Scarlett flinched. "I was helping you survive. I didn't know you were killing them." "You didn't ask," he shot back. "You didn't care, as long as you got your tuition paid and your rent covered." She swallowed hard. Shame burned her throat, but anger quickly replaced it. "I left the moment I learned the truth. I ran because I was scared. I don't owe you anything." Damian pressed her against the bathroom counter before she could move away. Grip on her arms tightened painfully. "You owe me everything," he growled. "And today, I'm collecting." Scarlett shoved him back with all the force her trembling hands could gather. "Don't touch me." He didn't move far, only leaned back slightly, amusement flickering across his face. "Ah, the fire is still there. That's good. You'll need it." She shook her head. "Damian, let me go. Please, I'm not choosing you. I'm choosing a new life." "No," he said simply. "You're choosing whatever keeps me quiet." His gaze hardened. "Meet me tonight, alone. If you don't, the photo goes straight to your new husband." Scarlett's chest caved in. "Damian, tonight," he repeated, "or you lose everything." He slipped out the bathroom door before she could respond, leaving her shaking violently in her wedding dress, heart pounding so loudly she thought she might faint. A knock came instantly. "Scarlett?" Elaine's voice slid through the door, gentle, worried, rushed. "Sweetheart, are you ready? We're about to start." Scarlett wiped her tears as fast as she could, swallowing the sobs stuck in her throat. She stared at herself in the mirror, shaking, pale, fighting for breath. But she had no choice. Elaine had saved her when no one else would. Scarlett owed her everything. She forced a smile, one that didn't reach her eyes, and opened the door. Elaine gasped softly. "Oh, darling, are you all right? You look a little pale." "I'm fine," Scarlett whispered, "just nervous." Elaine hugged her tightly, brushing her hair back. "Thank you for doing this. You're saving our family." Scarlett nodded, tears threatening again. "I know." But as Elaine took her hand and led her toward the hall, Scarlett felt the crushing weight of a secret she could never reveal. The wedding aisle stretched before her like a tunnel she couldn't escape. Guests turned. Cameras flashed. Everyone watched the woman who wasn't supposed to stand there. But their whispers were nothing compared to the storm in Nicholas's eyes. He stood at the altar, his expression cold enough to freeze fire. The anger, humiliation, and betrayal from Lisa's disappearance were still fresh on his face, and they sharpened the moment he saw Scarlett. Scarlett's breath hitched as she stepped forward. Nicholas leaned toward Richard, his best friend, as if the entire room wasn't watching. "This is a joke. My mother's playing games again. I'm not marrying her." His voice wasn't low enough. Scarlett heard every word. Elaine glared at him from the front row, her jaw tight. "Nicholas," she hissed, "behave." Nicholas didn't bother hiding his disgust. He muttered under his breath, "I'd rather marry a stranger than a gold digger." Scarlett's steps faltered. That single phrase, gold digger, hit her like a punch to the gut. She swallowed the pain and kept moving, refusing to break. "Not here, not now." She reached the altar and stood before Nicholas. He didn't offer a smile, not even a forced one. He barely looked at her. "This wasn't my idea," he muttered without looking up. "Let's get this over with." Scarlett whispered, "I know." The ceremony began. Scarlett tried to focus on the priest's voice, but Nicholas's cold gaze pierced her every time she accidentally met his eyes. When it was time for the vows, Nicholas spoke with a voice void of emotion, smooth, controlled, mechanical. Scarlett's voice trembled when she repeated hers, but she pushed through. Then came the moment everyone waited for. "You may kiss the bride." Nicholas stepped back. "No." Gasps echoed. Cameras froze. Scarlett's heart split clean in two. Nicholas ripped off his tie and stormed past her, sending a wave of humiliation crashing over her so hard she nearly collapsed. But the worst part wasn't the whispers. It was Damian, standing at the far back of the hall, smirking, watching her life burn because he lit the match. Scarlett stood frozen at the altar long after Nicholas had stormed out of the hall. Her heart felt like shattered glass lodged in her chest, each whisper from the guests slicing deeper. Every camera flash captured her humiliation. Every stare reminded her she didn't belong here. Not in this dress, not in this family, not beside a man who despised her existence. Elaine rushed to her side, placing a hand gently on her trembling shoulder. "Don't listen to them," she whispered urgently. "Nicholas, he's hurting. He didn't mean to embarrass you." Scarlett forced a weak smile. "It's fine, I understand." But she didn't. She didn't understand why life kept punishing her, even when all she wanted was peace. Elaine held her tighter. "Give him time. He doesn't know your heart yet, but he will." Scarlett nodded, though her eyes were burning. Behind them, Damian leaned against a marble pillar in the shadows, arms crossed, eyes gleaming with dark satisfaction. He didn't move, didn't flinch, simply enjoyed the destruction he had orchestrated with a single photo and a single threat. Scarlett felt the weight of his stare even without looking. Her skin crawled, and fear, real fear, twisted her stomach. She needed to leave before he cornered her again, before he found another moment alone with her, before he used her past to destroy her present. Elaine whispered to the coordinator to usher the guests out discreetly. The woman nodded and began dispersing the crowd. Chairs scraped, people murmured, phones clicked. Within minutes, the hall thinned out. Scarlett turned to Elaine. "Please, I need a moment alone." Elaine hesitated. "Are you sure?" Scarlett nodded. "Please." Elaine cupped her cheek. "Thank you for what you did today. You didn't deserve any of this." She squeezed gently before walking toward the exit. Only when the room was nearly empty did Scarlett let her. Shoulders collapse, her breath finally escaping her lungs. She wrapped her arms around herself, shaking. But she felt him before she heard him. "You know," Damian murmured behind her. "That was beautiful." Scarlett spun around so fast, her heel nearly twisted. "Stay away from me." Damian smirked. "Relax. I'm only here to congratulate you. You handled that embarrassment like a queen." Scarlett trembled. "If you don't leave, you'll what?" He stepped closer. "Tell Nicholas? Tell Elaine? You and I both know you can't." She backed up until her spine hit the altar steps. "Please, just let me go." Damian arched a brow. "Tonight, don't forget. If you don't show up, that picture is going public." Her chest tightened. "You're a monster." He leaned in, voice low and cold. "You helped build the monster." And then he walked away, leaving her trembling in the echo of his threat. Scarlett didn't move until she felt a presence behind her, taller, colder, angrier. She turned slowly and saw Nicholas standing there in the doorway of the hall, jaw clenched, eyes burning holes through her. Her voice caught. "Nicholas, what were you doing with him?" Nicholas's voice cut through the silence like a blade. Scarlett froze. "Who?" "Don't play dumb," he snapped, stepping closer. "I saw him leaving. Who is he to you?" Scarlett's chest constricted painfully. "No one. He's liar," Nicholas growled. "I may not want to marry you, but I'm not blind. That man looked at you like he owned you." Scarlett swallowed hard. "You're misunderstanding." "I don't care," Nicholas spat. "You're my wife now, whether I like it or not. And I won't tolerate you dragging strangers into my home or my family's reputation." Scarlett stepped back, wounded. "I'm not dragging anyone." "Then explain," he demanded. She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. No explanation would make sense. "Nicholas, please. I'm dealing with something I can't explain yet." His eyes hardened. "I don't want secrets in my home." "You have secrets too," she whispered before she could stop herself. Nicholas froze, anger flashing in his eyes. "Careful." Scarlett lowered her gaze. "I didn't mean—" "Yes, you did." Nicholas's voice was quiet but sharp. "Listen, Scarlett. I don't trust you. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. And whatever history you have with that man, clean it up. I won't be dragged into anyone's mess." Her chest ached. "I'm not trying to drag you into anything." "You're already neck deep in something," Nicholas said coldly. "And I can't afford to be." His words stung more than the wedding humiliation. "What do you want me to say?" "Nothing," he muttered. "Just stay out of my way." He walked off, leaving her bleeding from wounds that didn't show on the surface. Scarlett stood alone in that massive hall, wondering how her life had unraveled this fast. A few hours later, the newlyweds rode home in silence. Nicholas sat rigidly in the corner of the limousine, staring out the window as if the world outside deserved more of his attention than the woman sitting a seat away. Scarlett kept her hands folded in her lap, eyes fixed on the floor, fighting the urge to cry. She didn't expect love, but she didn't expect hatred either. When they arrived at his mansion, huge, cold, breathtaking, Nicholas pushed the door open and stepped out without waiting for her. Elaine met them inside, her worry deepening as she saw their post-wedding gloom. Nicholas. I'm tired, he muttered and began climbing the stairs. Elaine turned to Scarlett. I'm so sorry, dear. Give him time. Scarlett nodded weakly as Elaine kissed her cheek and went to her room. Scarlett finally climbed the stairs to the bedroom Nicholas assigned her. Not next to his, but at the opposite end of the hallway. The room was beautiful, but lonely. She sank onto the bed, staring at her hands, replaying Damian's threat over and over. The photo, the ultimatum, tonight, and the worst part, if she didn't go, Damian wouldn't just ruin her life. He'd destroy Nicholas. Scarlett felt tears slip down her cheeks. Not because she loved him, but because he didn't deserve that pain. He didn't deserve another betrayal after losing so much already. She cried quietly into her pillow, her heart aching with fear and guilt and exhaustion. She didn't know if she could meet Damian tonight. She didn't know if she had the strength. But one thing was certain. The past she ran from was done waiting. It was coming for her. And it wasn't leaving without blood. Scarlett didn't sleep. She couldn't. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the picture Damian held. The one that could tie her to Nicholas's brother's death. She saw Nicholas's anger, his disgust, his suspicion. She felt the crushing weight of a life she had worked so hard to escape collapsing right back on top of her. By the time the mansion went silent and the night stretched deep and cold, Scarlett knew she had no choice. She had to meet Damian, not because she wanted to, but because she couldn't risk destroying Nicholas. Not after everything he had lost, not after everything this family had already suffered. Scarlett rose from the bed, slipped out of her wedding shoes, and wrapped a long coat around herself. She tiptoed quietly through the dim hallway, heart pounding so loudly she was certain it would echo off the walls. She paused at the top of the stairs. Nicholas's office light was still on. Her pulse spiked. For a second, she doubted everything. Should she turn back? Should she tell him the truth? Should she run? But she didn't have the courage. And she didn't have the proof to defend herself against Damian's lies. She continued down the stairs and slipped out through the back door. The night air hit her sharply, cold, biting, almost punishing. She wrapped the coat tighter around herself and walked down the driveway until she reached the black car parked near the gated exit. Damian's car. The window rolled down. "Get in," he said. She hesitated, but only for a heartbeat. Fear and desperation pushing her around the car and into the passenger seat. As soon as the door clicked shut, Damian leaned casually back in his seat and let his eyes roam over her. "You came. Good girl." Scarlett flinched. "Give me the photo." "Not yet," he replied. "We need to talk." "I'm not here for conversation," she whispered. "Just tell me what you want." Damian chuckled darkly. "You know what I want." She shook her head frantically. "No, absolutely not." "You owe me," Damian growled, grabbing her chin. "Everything you are today, your courage, your lies, your survival, you learned from me. I learned how to run because of you." She snapped back, yanking her face from his grip. Damian's expression hardened. "You think you can erase the past? You think becoming Mrs. Nicholas Smith makes you untouchable? Wake up, Scarlett." She swallowed, her voice barely a whisper. "Stop trying to destroy me." "I'm not trying to destroy you," he said quietly, leaning closer. "I'm trying to claim you." Scarlett's hands trembled violently as she shoved him back. "I'll pay you, whatever you want. Just leave me alone." Damian laughed, a slow, cruel sound. "I don't want your money. Nicholas's money is bigger. If I wanted money, sweetheart, I'd blackmail him." Scarlett's heart dropped. Please don't drag him into this." "Oh?" Damian smirked. So now you care about your new husband? She looked away, unable to answer. Damian tapped his finger on the steering wheel. All right then, a deal. One night with me. No questions, no complaints, and I destroy everything tying you to that night. Scarlett recoiled, shaking her head violently. No, never. I won't. Damian's voice dropped to a chilling whisper. Then Nicholas learns everything before sunrise. Scarlett slapped him. The sound cracked through the car like lightning. Damian froze. Slowly, his smile grew. Dark, dangerous, unhinged. Still got fight in you. Good. Scarlett grabbed the door handle and pushed it open. We're done. I'm not giving you anything. Scarlett! Damian's voice chilled her to her core. If you walk away from me, I promise you, by tomorrow morning, Nicholas will not only throw you out, he'll have you arrested. Scarlett paused, trembling. Damian continued. You think he'll believe you? After today? After seeing us talk? After seeing you hide shit? Scarlett squeezed her eyes shut. Tears slipped down her cheeks. She whispered, Please, don't do this. Damian tilted his head. Then choose. Scarlett stepped out of the car. My choice is no. Damian leaned back, unbothered. Then let the games begin. His car peeled out of the driveway, leaving Scarlett standing in the cold night, shaking uncontrollably. She hugged herself, breath uneven, fear chewing through her lungs. She felt sick. She felt small. She felt utterly trapped. She stumbled back into the mansion minutes later, trembling, cold, tears staining her face. She tiptoed upstairs, praying Nicholas hadn't noticed her absence. But he had. As soon as she stepped into the hallway, his office door swung open. Where the hell were you? He snapped. Scarlett froze. Her breath hitched. She didn't turn around. I just needed air. Air? Nicholas scoffed. At midnight? In your wedding dress? Alone? Scarlett slowly turned to face him. His eyes scanned her face, a mixture of confusion, anger, and something sharper. Concern? No, that couldn't be. He stepped closer, narrowing his eyes. You've been crying. No, she whispered, backing up. Don't lie to me, Nicholas said, voice rising. What's going on? What are you hiding? Scarlett swallowed hard, throat tightening painfully. I'm not hiding anything. Nicholas's jaw clenched. That man earlier. I saw him leave. Are you meeting your ex on our wedding night? Scarlett gasped, shaking her head rapidly. No. Nicholas, it's not what you think. Then tell me the truth. I can't, she whispered. Nicholas stared at her, betrayal surfacing in his eyes. Then get out of my sight. Her breath shattered. Nicholas, please. Go to your room, he said coldly. Before I say something I'll regret. Scarlett stepped back, heart splintering. I'm not your enemy. You're not my wife either, Nicholas whispered, pain lacing his voice. Just a mistake I had to make. That hurt worse than anything Damian had done. Scarlett turned away, walking toward her room as tears filled her eyes once more. Nicholas watched her go, fists trembling at his sides. He didn't understand why seeing her cry twisted something deep inside him. He didn't understand why her pain mattered to him, but it did. Scarlett shut herself in her room and leaned against the door, sobbing quietly. Her body shook as the weight of everything pressed in. Damian's threat, Nicholas's rejection, the fear of losing everything she had fought for. She sank to the floor and whispered to herself, why is this happening to me? Because the past always comes back. And hers had arrived with claws. If you're feeling her pain already, hit that like button. Let's see how many hearts she can reach today. Scarlett didn't know when she finally cried herself to sleep, or when exhaustion pulled her into a shallow, restless silence. But when sunlight finally seeped through the curtains, her body felt heavy, like she had spent the night fighting the world. She sat up slowly, wiping the dried tear marks from her face. Her entire chest felt sore, as if her heart had bruised itself with every beat. She checked her phone immediately, half hoping, half dreading a message from Damian. Nothing, which somehow terrified her even more. She dressed quietly and crept out of her room, moving like a ghost down the long hallway. She didn't want to face Nicholas, not after the way he had looked at her last night, not after the disgust in his voice. She turned a corner and collided straight into him. Nicholas caught her first, hands strong on her arms, steadying her before she fell. For a split second, she saw something soften in his eyes. Surprise, concern, something almost human. But the moment he realized he was touching her, he let go instantly. Scarlett stepped back, heart pounding. I'm sorry, I didn't see. Where were you going? Nicholas cut sharply. She swallowed. Downstairs. Why so early? Scarlett's breath hitched. He didn't trust her. Every question sounded like an interrogation. I thought you'd want space. I want answers, he said bluntly. Scarlett froze. Last night, Nicholas continued, crossing his arms. You left the house. You were crying. A man walked out the gate minutes before you returned, and you refused to tell me anything. Scarlett shut her eyes. Nicholas, please, I can't talk about it. Why? He demanded. Are you protecting him? No. Nicholas stepped closer, anger tightening his jaw. Then what the hell is going on, Scarlett? You show up as my bride. You act nervous all day. A stranger keeps watching you, and you sneak out at midnight to meet him. Do you realize how suspicious this looks? She felt her throat closing. I'm not cheating on you. Nicholas didn't blink. Then what are you hiding? Scarlett's voice cracked. You won't believe me. Try me. She hesitated, tears stinging her eyes again. She couldn't tell him, not yet, not without the truth about his brother being twisted against her. She whispered, It's dangerous. Nicholas's eyes sharpened. Dangerous for who? For everyone. For a moment, something flickered in his eyes, like he wanted to ask more, like he wasn't as uncaring as he pretended to be. But then he shut himself off again. Fine, he muttered, stepping past her. If you won't talk, I won't ask. Just stay out of trouble. Scarlett's heart fell. That was the closest thing to concern he had ever shown, and even that came with distance. She walked downstairs, only to find Elaine in the living room, sipping tea with a worried expression. Oh, darling, Elaine breathed when she saw her. Come sit. Scarlett joined her, trying to keep her emotions contained. Elaine reached for her hand. How was your first night in the house? Scarlett forced a smile. Fine. Elaine shook her head. No, it wasn't. Scarlett inhaled shakily. There was something comforting about Elaine. Warm, motherly, understanding. The woman had taken her in, trusted her, and treated her like the daughter she lost far too early. It's complicated, Scarlett whispered. Elaine squeezed her hand. Nicholas doesn't open up easily. He's been through so much. Losing Andrew and Noah nearly destroyed him. The mention of Noah, Nicholas's late brother, made Scarlett stiffen. The name felt like a knife slicing through her chest. Elaine sighed softly. Nicholas loved Noah more than anything. When he died, it broke him. And when Andrew passed days later from the shock, Nicholas changed. He became colder, angrier, harder. Scarlett bit her lip. I understand. No, Elaine said gently. You don't, not yet. But you will. Scarlett looked down, her fingers trembling slightly. Elaine leaned closer. If you ever need help, or protection, or someone to talk to, you come to me. Do you understand? Scarlett's chest tightened painfully. Thank you. Before Elaine could say more, Nicholas walked into the room, adjusting his cufflinks, dressed sharply for work. His eyes met Scarlett's for a second, cold, unreadable, before he looked away. I'm leaving, he said. Elaine frowned. Nicholas, at least have breakfast. I'm not hungry, he muttered. Scarlett looked away to avoid meeting his gaze. Nicholas paused at the door. Scarlett. Her head snapped up instinctively. His voice was hard. Tell the staff if you need anything, and if you must leave the house, tell someone. She stared at him, confused. Why? He hesitated, barely a pause, but enough to matter. Because you're my responsibility now. It wasn't affection, it wasn't warmth, but it wasn't cruelty either. Scarlett nodded. Okay. Nicholas left, the door closing behind him. Elaine turned to Scarlett with a soft smile. He's trying, in his own Nicholas way. Scarlett managed a weak laugh, wiping the corner of her eye. Later that afternoon, Scarlett sat alone in the massive kitchen, sipping tea, trying to calm her racing thoughts. Damian hadn't contacted her since last night. That should have been relief. But instead it made her uneasy. Men like Damian didn't disappear. They plotted. The doorbell rang. Scarlett tensed. The maid answered it. Richard walked in. Nicholas's best friend. Tall, charming, sharp-featured, always with an effortless smile that felt too polished to trust. Scarlett straightened. Richard, hi. He smiled warmly. Scarlett, the new Mrs. Smith. I came to check on you. Yesterday was chaotic. Scarlett forced a small smile. That's an understatement. Richard stepped inside, glancing subtly around the house. His eyes lingered longer than necessary on her. You holding up okay? Yes, she lied softly. Richard reached into his pocket and pulled out a small, velvet box. Here, a wedding gift. Scarlett blinked. You didn't have to. I insist. He opened it. Inside sat a stunning diamond bracelet. Scarlett's breath caught. It's beautiful, she murmured. It belonged to Noah, Richard said quietly. I thought it might bring you luck in this family. Scarlett froze. Noah, Damian's photo, the threat, the fear. Suddenly that bracelet didn't feel like a gift. It felt like a warning. Scarlett's fingers trembled as she accepted it, her voice barely audible. Thank you. Richard smiled again. Too charming, too perfect, too practiced. We're family now, Scarlett. If you ever need anything, anything at all, come to me. Something in his tone unsettled her. He meant it, but not in the way he pretended. And as he walked out, Scarlett's skin crawled with recognition. Damian wasn't her only enemy. She had just met another one. Scarlett watched Richard leave, her heartbeat picking up speed as the front door closed behind him. Something about his smile, too smooth, too calculated, lingered in her mind like a shadow that refused to fade. She clutched the bracelet box to her chest, her breath shaky. Why Noah's bracelet? Why now? Why her? Her instincts whispered the same warning her gut had screamed the moment Damian reappeared. Nothing in her life was accidental anymore. Scarlett placed the box on the kitchen counter and made herself a cup of tea, but her hands shook so badly the spoon clattered against the porcelain. She sat down, closing her eyes, trying to breathe. But peace didn't come. Her thoughts chased her relentlessly. Nicholas's anger, Damian's threats, Richard's gift, Noah's death. Everything tangled into one suffocating knot. She didn't know how long she sat there until she heard footsteps approaching. She opened her eyes and saw Nicholas standing in the doorway, loosened tie, sleeves rolled slightly, exhaustion clinging to him like a second skin. He looked like he'd been fighting all day. Fighting shareholders, fighting rumors, fighting himself. His eyes swept to Scarlett, lingering on her pale face. His brows furrowed. "You're still here? I thought you would have gone out." Scarlett offered a small, tired smile. "I didn't feel like leaving." Nicholas stepped forward slowly, studying her in a way he hadn't before. Not with anger, not with suspicion, but with something quieter, almost reluctant concern. "You look—" He paused, searching for a word that didn't expose him. "Tired." "I didn't sleep well," she admitted. He nodded slowly. "Neither did I." Scarlett hesitated. "Is it work?" Nicholas looked away. "It's everything." Silence filled the space, thick, awkward, fragile. Then his eyes dropped to the velvet box on the counter. "What's that?" Scarlett swallowed. "A gift from Richard for the wedding." Nicholas's jaw tightened. "Richard?" "Yes." Nicholas walked over and opened the box. The moment he saw the bracelet, his expression shifted, subtle but unmistakable. Scarlett asked quietly, "Do you recognize it?" Nicholas touched the diamonds lightly, his throat tightening. It was Noah's. His voice dipped low, almost painful. He bought it for the woman he wanted to propose to. Scarlett froze. "I didn't know." Nicholas closed the box abruptly, eyes clouded. He never got the chance to give it to her. A silence thickened between them. Scarlett whispered, "Why would Richard give it to me?" Nicholas's eyes narrowed, suspicion rising. "I don't know, but I'll ask him." Scarlett tensed. "No, don't make a big deal. It's just a bracelet." "No," Nicholas said firmly. "It's not." Their eyes met, and for a brief moment, they both understood something without saying it. Noah's death still lived in the walls of this house, in Nicholas's silence, in the shadows of Richard's smile, and now in Scarlett's hands. Nicholas broke eye contact first, clearing his throat. "I have a meeting in an hour. I need to change." He turned to leave, but paused at the doorway. "Scarlett." She lifted her head. He hesitated, then spoke softly, almost reluctantly. If something is wrong, tell me. Even if you think I won't believe you." Scarlett's breath caught. He didn't wait for her response. He walked away quickly, as if afraid of what he had just allowed himself to say. Scarlett watched him go, her heart twisting. Nicholas was still cold, still guarded, still unpredictable. But cracks were forming, cracks that revealed the man buried beneath all the pain and anger. She wasn't sure if that scared her more than Damian did. Hours passed. Elaine had gone out to meet a friend. Nicholas was at his meeting. The house grew quiet, shadows stretching along the marble floors as evening settled in. Scarlett wandered into Nicholas's study, a room she had never dared to enter until now. She didn't know what she was looking for. Maybe answers. Maybe something to distract her from the fear swallowing her chest. Books lined the walls. Files were stacked neatly on the desk. A photograph of Nicholas and Noah sat in a silver frame, both smiling genuinely. Nicholas's face younger, softer, unburdened. Scarlett reached for the photo with trembling hands. Noah. Why was she there that night? Why did Damian have that picture? And why was Richard suddenly inserting Noah into her life? Her mind spun with questions she didn't have answers to. She put the photo down and turned to leave. But she collided with a solid chest. She gasped. Nicholas stood in the doorway, eyes sharp, arms crossed. "What are you doing in here?" Scarlett stepped back immediately. I'm sorry. I wasn't touching anything. I just... Stop. His voice softened unexpectedly. I'm not angry. I just wasn't expecting you. In here. Scarlett swallowed. I saw the picture of you and Noah. Nicholas's jaw tightened. I keep it where I can see it. It reminds me of what I lost. Scarlett lowered her gaze. I'm sorry. Nicholas walked past her and set his keys on the desk. Did Richard say anything strange today? Scarlett's breath hitched. Damian's threats flashed in her mind. She shook her head. No, he just gave me the bracelet. Nicholas studied her a moment longer, his eyes searching her face for cracks. Scarlett forced a smile she didn't feel. It was kind of him. Nicholas scoffed. Richard isn't kind. Scarlett frowned. Then why? Trust me, Nicholas said quietly. Just don't let him get close. Scarlett's heart pounded painfully. Okay. Nicholas looked away, running a hand through his hair. Everything in this house feels like it's falling apart. Scarlett's voice softened. You're under a lot of pressure. His eyes snapped to hers. Stop defending me. Scarlett blinked. I'm not. Yes, you are, he said, stepping closer. You act like I deserve kindness. Like I haven't treated you like trash, like I don't constantly hurt you. Scarlett's eyes stung. I don't think you're a bad person, Nicholas. He froze. Then, slowly, his walls began to rise again. You don't know me. Then let me, she whispered. Nicholas's eyes darkened, confusion and fear swirling inside him. Scarlett, stop. Why? Because I don't want. He looked away. To need anyone. Her heart tightened. Needing someone isn't weakness. It is for me. Scarlett stared at him, her breath uneven. He was breaking. He didn't even realize it. And then, a loud knock echoed through the mansion. Nicholas stiffened instantly. Scarlett's blood ran cold. Nicholas moved first, walking toward the foyer, each step tense and sharp. Scarlett followed him slowly, her heart hammering. He opened the door. Damian stood there, smiling. Scarlett grabbed the back of a chair for balance. Nicholas's voice dropped to ice. Who the hell are you? Damian flashed a polite smile. Good evening. I'm here to see your wife. Scarlett's stomach twisted violently. Nicholas turned slowly toward her, eyes narrowing, suspicion turning into something darker. Scarlett's heart stopped. Everything she feared, everything she tried to avoid, was standing on her doorstep. Nicholas's eyes turned razor-sharp the second Damian said the word, wife. His entire body shifted, tension coiling through him like a drawn bow. He stepped forward, blocking Scarlett instinctively. You have 3 seconds, Nicholas said in a voice that vibrated with anger, to tell me why you're here. Damian wiped imaginary dust from his jacket sleeve, unbothered. I already said I'm here to see Scarlett. Scarlett's pulse roared in her ears. Every cell in her body screamed to run. But Nicholas stood in front of her, and Damian's eyes glinted with the satisfaction of a man about to ignite a war. What business do you have with my wife? Nicholas demanded. Damian smirked. You mean you didn't ask her? You really don't know who she is? Scarlett's legs nearly buckled. Damian, stop. Oh, sweetheart, Damian said, eyes never leaving Nicholas. I think it's time your husband learned the kind of woman he married. Nicholas turned to her slowly, betrayal flickering across his face. Scarlett, who is this man? Scarlett felt her breath shatter. Nicholas, please, not like this. Nicholas's voice dropped low. Dangerous. Tell me the truth. Damian clapped mockingly. Well, since she won't, allow me. Damian, Scarlett pleaded. But he stepped into the house, forcing Nicholas to block him with a hand pressed to his chest. Cross my threshold, Nicholas growled, and I'll bury you myself. Damian laughed. Oh, Nicholas, if only you knew. Your family has already buried one man because of her. Scarlett gasped, tears filling her eyes. Damian, stop it. Nicholas froze, his face drained of color. What did you just say? Damian pulled out his phone and held it between them like a weapon. Take a good look. Nicholas snatched the phone, furious, until he saw the photo. His brother Noah, alive, standing at a gas station, and behind him, half hidden but unmistakable, Scarlett. Scarlett's breath hitched. Nicholas, listen. Nicholas took a step back, the world spinning in his eyes. You were there. Scarlett shook her head desperately. It's not what it looks like. Damian smiled like the devil. She didn't just see him, she helped me track him. No, Scarlett cried. That's not true. Nicholas, please, listen to me. Nicholas stared at the photo again, his voice hollow. You were there the night Noah died. Noah's death wasn't me, she pleaded. I didn't hurt him. I didn't even know who he was until after. Damian scoffed. She's lying. She ran jobs with me. We followed wealthy men, blackmailed them. Noah caught us, and your sweet little wife here lured him outside. Scarlett shook her head violently. That's not true. I didn't lure anyone. Damian was the one following him. I tried to stop him. Damian's smile widened. You didn't try hard enough. Nicholas looked sick. He dropped the phone. Get out, he said, voice shaking with rage. Scarlett, get out of my house. Scarlett's entire world collapsed. Nicholas, please, listen to me. I swear to you I never touched Noah. I didn't hurt him. Damian forced me. Enough! Nicholas roared. She flinched violently. Nicholas pointed at the door with trembling fingers. I said, get out. Scarlett's tears streamed down her cheeks as she looked from Nicholas to Damian, the monster who orchestrated all of this. Damian leaned against the doorframe, satisfied. Told you I could destroy her. Nicholas's rage turned deadly. And I'll destroy you. Nicholas lunged, grabbing Damian by the collar. Damian slammed into the wall with a grunt, but he only laughed harder. Go ahead, Damian whispered. Hit me, but she'll still be guilty. You'll still have married a criminal, and everyone will know. Scarlett watched Nicholas's fist shake in the air, suspended between fury and heartbreak. Stop, she screamed, grabbing Nicholas's arm. Nicholas, stop. Don't ruin your life because of him. Nicholas jerked away from her touch like it burned. Don't you ever touch me again. Scarlett stumbled back, sobbing. I'm not your enemy. He is. But Damian smirked. Oh, he'll see that soon. Nicholas shoved Damian out of the house and slammed the door. Then he turned to Scarlett, breathing hard, chest heaving. Did you have anything at all to do with my brother's death? Scarlett's voice cracked into pieces. I swear on my mother's grave, I didn't. I wasn't part of it. Damian showed up, I ran. Why were you there? Nicholas asked, voice trembling with betrayal. Scarlett whispered, because Damian forced me to help him follow people. I didn't know who your brother was. I only found out after Noah died. Nicholas squeezed his eyes shut, pain ripping through him. I can't do this. Not right now. Not after everything. Scarlett stepped toward him. Nicholas, please. His voice broke. Get out of my house. Scarlett felt her heart split cleanly in half. Her knees nearly gave out, but she forced herself to stand. She whispered, voice shredded, if you really believe I could hurt someone, then I'll go. She turned to leave, but the front door burst open. Police stormed in. Scarlett froze. Nicholas Smith? The officer asked. Nicholas stepped forward, instantly switching to CEO mode. Yes? We received a report and have evidence of a blackmail and attempted assault case involving Damian Rodney. We need Scarlett Gordon to come with us. Damian appeared behind the officers, instantly yelling, "She's lying! She's framing me!" But the officers ignored him. "Mr. Smith, your wife is the key witness. She's not a suspect." Scarlett collapsed in relief. Nicholas blinked, stunned. "What?" The officer continued. "The tip came from an anonymous source, someone who cared about protecting her." Scarlett's eyes widened. Nicholas looked at her, really looked, and realization hit him. She wasn't lying. Damian was. The officers cuffed Damian as he screamed and fought, exposed for everything he'd done. "Scarlett, you'll regret this. Nicholas, she's using you." Nicholas didn't hear him. He was staring at Scarlett, broken, relieved, ashamed. Hours later, after Damian was taken away and the house grew silent, Nicholas found Scarlett sitting on the staircase, hugging her knees, still shaking. He approached slowly, guilt weighing his steps. "Scarlett." His voice cracked. "I was wrong." She didn't look up. Nicholas sat beside her, not touching her, but not far either. "I should have listened," he whispered. "I should have trusted you. I let my pain blind me. I hurt you." Scarlett wiped her face, but said nothing. Nicholas swallowed hard. "Give me a chance to make this right, please." Scarlett finally looked at him, eyes raw and red. "You threw me away without hearing me." "I know," he whispered, "and I hate myself for it." Scarlett stared at him through trembling breaths. "You believed a monster over me." Nicholas nodded, shame burning him. "But I won't ever make that mistake again." Her voice cracked. "How do I know that?" Nicholas inhaled shakily, then did something she never expected. He knelt in front of her. "You don't," he whispered, "but I'll spend every day proving it." Scarlett let out a broken sob, and Nicholas finally, gently, placed a hand on hers. Their wounds were still raw, their past still haunted, their hearts still fragile. But the truth had finally been freed. And for the first time, he wasn't her enemy. He was her beginning. If you enjoyed this story and want more, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next story.